It is Sunday, first day of the week, people. April 10th, 2022, and I'm not even going to argue with the religious fanatics out here that will tell me somehow mysteriously the kooky Catholics converted the first day of the week to become the seventh day of the week to fit their ridiculous Easter narrative where they magically cram and stretch out 48 hours into 72. Won't even go there today, people. Not the purpose of this podcast. Okay, first of all, hey, thanks to a couple of good subs. You know who you are. Gales Navy, HB. They bought me a beer. Not that I needed it at that time, by the way, but much appreciated. You noticed I left shortly thereafter. Holy moly's, that was tough on me. I'm going to take you to a little tour of the wall, people. It's very important what you see, that you see what I see out here. I am standing on this wall. I am gazing out 360 degrees, full circle, to the horizon. Notice how I did not say curb-eisen. No, it's flat. It's horizontal. It's called properly a horizon. And no matter what direction I look, I don't see one or two stragglers approaching the wall, people. I see well-orchestrated, well-funded, well-disciplined armies moving with different causes under different banners coming at us from all directions. Yes, whether it's pandemics, whether it's food poisoning, whether it's spraying us with chemicals, whether it's nuclear war, they're coming, people. And like I said, it ain't just onesies and twosies. These guys are massive and well-equipped. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Speaking about yesterday's podcast, did you guys get a chance to see that cool-ass 10-minute video? Actually, it turns out to be a 4-part series. I think it ran about 45 minutes. I watched it all. Excellent, people. Something you got to take a look at. Was it reality or was it fantasy? Oh, come on, Dave. That was 1979. A lot has changed since then. Yes, it has. But guess what? For the worse. On whose half? Our half. 2 points. People want nuclear war. Remember in the article I read before I talked about that video? Yeah, well, it turns out Sean Penn, the actor, was on Hannity. Never met a war you didn't want your kids to fight. And here's what, well, you know, I went over to Jimmy Dore, far left comedian, progressive as hell. Why does he have to expose what should be exposed by the normal mainstream media? Check this out.
Those early hours, I know that Trump gave them javelins. I know that they had some defenses, but if you go back to the Budapest Agreement, they were at the time the third largest nuclear power in the world. And they made an agreement that they'd give those weapons to Russia to be destroyed in exchange for protection from Russia, Great Britain, and the U.S. Lesson to be learned here, don't give up your nuclear weapons if you have them, because you can't believe people like Vladimir Putin.
Well, even countries that have nuclear weapons can remain intimidated to use them, and we're seeing that now with our own country. And I fear what that legacy is going to be. We don't...
So, I don't know if you just heard what he said. I'll repeat it. Well, let's just play it back.
No, well, even countries that have nuclear weapons can remain intimidated to use them, and we're seeing that now with our own country. And I fear what that legacy is going.
So us being afraid to use nuclear weapons, he says, the United States not using nuclear weapons, he says he's afraid of what the legacy of that will be.
Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, people. Yeah, I remember that article. I said, you guys got to get your head out of your ass. Not my words. The author of that article prior to the little snippets I played yesterday. Why do people listen to these celebrities? I don't give a damn if it's an actor or if it's a sports athlete. What makes their opinion so valuable? I don't get it. A second thing that I should have added yesterday, or that I can freely add today, people, I'm going to have to go in the Wayback Machine. Back in the day when your humble messenger was just a wee little kid at Earl Brown Elementary School in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, we used to practice civil defense drills. Now, we could not do the duck and cover under our desk because, unlike the Minneapolis public school systems, we were just north of them in that suburb. We had the newfangled desks. Yep, the one where the desk is attached to the chair. Hard to do a duck and cover on one of them. But they would march us down to the lower levels of the basement. And what you would see, people, is stacks and stacks of civil defense rations, CDB 700 survey meters to make sure they could tell when it was safe to let the kiddies go back outside, and 5-gallon green metal cans of water stacked along one wall. It was huge. It was massive. They could beat an army down there. You don't see that anymore, people. And here's a takeaway on that. What people don't tell you is the Russians, yep, the bad guys, Putin, they have one of the most advanced civil defense programs for their citizens. They can march 40 million people into underground bunkers, feed and take care of them. We can't go anywhere except the basement of your house. Good luck with that plan, people. Somebody has purposely made us totally vulnerable to a first strike or a retaliatory strike. So there's that one. Now, the Bad News Broadcast. The weekly Bad News Broadcast comes out once a week from Dane Winnington's geoengineeringwatch.org. I never even got to open it today, people. I can just imagine what's in that 1 hour podcast. Didn't have to get to it. Couldn't get to it. Not enough time to get to it. So what else did we find out here? It turns out one of the most difficult questions in the free world, whether it's the United States Senate, whether it's the Australian Senate, whether it's the BBC radio talk show host, is, what is a woman? And here's the follow-up question, people.
Can a woman have a penis, believe it or not? And it says 70% of people say yes, 28.4% say no. But you won't answer the question, and you want to leave this country.
Just answered the question.
So are you saying yes, a woman can have a penis?
I've explained, and I'm quite sure that the listeners have heard what I've done, because I think that the reason that so many people...
Won't bore you with any more of that. Can't answer that, yes or no, can you? Can men have periods? Can men get pregnant? Can a woman have a Johnson? Well, that's a tough question there, radio talk show host. I just can't give you a one-word answer like, F no. Unbelievable, people. I'm telling you, it's absolutely getting down to unbelievability. I like to say it. History will repeat if you don't learn from it. Volotar once said, when you can convince people to believe absurdities, can a woman have a penis, people? You can convince them to commit atrocities. That is where we're going, people. That is what's bearing down fast and furious on the wall. You ever flexible stumble incredibly fluid? Messenger on the wall will tell you. Watchman on the wall. All right, gonna wrap this up. Don't want to run too long. Tension spans. Okay. Do you remember this guy? See if you can identify his voice. Just a quick little quiz. I'll give you the answer. Be patient.
Let's talk about it all. I'm Christian, and this is the Ice Age Farmer Broadcast.
I didn't want you to identify him. That's Christian, Ice Age Broadcast. Here we go. It's a Mr. and Mr. combination.
So we, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time.
Yeah, that's Mr. and Mr. Gates. Yeah, he wasn't too impressed with the response of the first one, but you better prepare for the next one, people. They're not going to leave you alone. And, what's the next one? Well, let's see if the CDC director knows. This is just a quick 3-minute audio from Christian Ice Age Farmer. Incredible.
Yesterday, I posted my report detailing the Gates Foundation's funding of gain-of-function research into H5N1, attempting to get it to cross over into humans.
H5N1, people, is, sit down for this, people, bird flu.
And I asked the question, is bird flu going to be the next pandemic? What I didn't realize was that just last week, former CDC Director Robert Redfield answered my question.
Yeah, I think we have to recognize, I've always said that I think the COVID pandemic was a wake-up call. I don't believe it's the great pandemic. I believe the great pandemic is still in the future, and that's going to be a bird flu pandemic for man. It's going to have significant mortality in the 10 to 50% range. It's going to be trouble, and we should get prepared for it. I do believe that the pandemic risk is a greater risk of the national security of the United States than Korea, China, Russia, Iran. And we ought to start investing proportional to that national security risk, that we're prepared.
Wow. So the former CDC director.
People, that was on March 30th. That was only 10 days ago, huh? 10 or 11 days. Can't remember how many days are in March. Don't really give a shit. So there you go. Worse than Russia, China, Iran? I mean, a nuclear war? What could be worse than a nuclear all-out war? First strike or retaliatory strike with the Russians. Oh, it is the bird flu. Oh, god damn. I'm telling you, people, they are never, ever, ever going to let us alone. They have their goals. They are disciplined, and they are coming. They are approaching the wall. You need to wake up. You need to make some preparations, people. All right, well, there's your Sunday morning. Gee, I wish I could call myself the bad news broadcast. No, actually, I wish I could be called the good news broadcast. Can't talk this morning. However, I just can't find any good news to share with you. I got stuff to do.